Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 2016. Be prepared to be inspired.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, inspiring automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to Cars Yeah. Guess where I am today? I'm south of Copenhagen in Denmark with a very special guest by the name of Jan Kalmer. Jan, welcome to Cars Yeah. Do you have it in gear? And are you ready to release the clutch?
I am so ready.
I know. You're the kind of guy who is always ready, because when we learn more about you today and your driving prowess and what you're building, people are going to kind of get it. But before I give you a proper introduction, what's one little thing that maybe people don't know about you, Jan?
Oh, I think there's a lot people don't know about me. I think maybe it's a Danish thing who lives hidden lives well. So I've actually tried to stay under the radar as good as possible or as low as possible.
Now, I find that very funny and very telling, because you have a business and a life that you are out there having a really good time. And again, before I give you a proper introduction, you just came back from a little driving adventure. Where were you?
Actually at the Arctic Circle in Finland, Rovaniemi, some say it's the home of Santa Claus, where we had a driving event where we run air-cooled 911s on WRC tires and blasting through the forest at full speed. So I just came back yesterday morning from there, and we'll go back in some weeks' time.
There you go. Well, that gives you listeners a little flavor for this character that we're going to be talking to today. He likes some adventure, so let's get started. Jan Kalmer is the co-owner of Kalmar Automotive, a company that he and past Cars Yeah guest Tom Kristensen, Tom Kristensen, are owners of. Kalmar Automotive's mission is to create the greenest car ever by building new life back into existing cars. They fit them with plant fiber bodywork. Okay, that's interesting. And if desired, they can create an EV version of these vehicles as well. This is all under the banner of automotive haute couture, where it's all about low volume, high quality, and bespoke tailor-made vehicles. They also host events going to places where you don't normally find automobiles, like the Arctic Circle, and surely not air-cooled Porsches. Jan raced in sprint and endurance racing activities. He was team manager at Le Mans for GT1 Jet Alliance and also Lotus Works Team Jet Alliance, and holds several world records for long-distance driving around the world. Jan is the co-owner of an extreme driving company as well. We'll be back in just a minute, but first a word from our valued sponsor, so give them a little love, and we'll be right back for a great adventure. We're sitting here with Jan outside of Copenhagen. Covercraft has the most complete line of custom seat covers available. Choose between the Polycotton Seat Savers, Endura Precision Fit custom seat covers, Leatherette Precision Fit custom seat covers, and their durable Carhartt seat covers. They're all easy to install and remove, and guess what? They're machine washable too. Easy cleanup to make them look brand new. No more worries about the kids spilling on your seats or your pets damaging your expensive upholstery or leather. Covercraft's quality seat covers protect from damaging pet claws, pet fur, hair, mud, moisture, food, drink spills, drool from permanently damaging your vehicle's fine surfaces. Headrest and armrest covers and color options are also available on many of the styles. And I've got a great offer for you. If you use the code YEAH21, YEAH21 at covercraft.com, they'll give you 10% off plus free shipping. That's right, 10% off and free shipping with the code YEAH21 at checkout. Covercraft, protecting the things that move you. Visit covercraft.com today. Last year, I changed my collector car coverage to American Collectors Insurance. That's who now protects my Porsche Turbo, the one I call my Orange Crush. But did you know they also insure your valuable collections of automobilia and other collectibles. If you're like me, you've invested in a lot of cool collectibles over the years. Those items are valuable, and if you were to lose them in a theft or a fire, well, try to get your normal homeowner's insurance to pay you what they're worth. Good luck with that. American Collectors Insurance provides you with assurance and confidence that your collectibles are fully covered. They insure a lot of items, including automobilia, wine, baseball cards, books, figurines, die-cast models, model trains, glassware, sports memorabilia, toys, and a whole lot more. American Collectors Insurance, they've been protecting us enthusiasts since 1976. They provide you with an agreed value insurance policy backed by a long history of taking care of their clients. Give them a call today for your personal agreed value quote at 866-ACI-YEAH. That's 866-224-9324. Tell them you're a friend of mine, Mark Green's here at Cars Yeah, American Collectors Insurance. Classic car insurance designed by collectors for collectors. Automotive enthusiasts just like you and me. That's American Collectors Insurance. So we are back. So I want to dive a little deeper into the corner. And when I ask you about your business, I want you to kind of tell me everything you're doing. But I want to go back a little bit here because you used to drive race cars. You were team manager for some Le Mans teams. I would assume that's maybe where you met your business partner. But can we take a little walk through your history? Because you're quite the driver.
Well, yeah, I basically built my first race car myself. I didn't have the family to take me through the go-kart career, so when I finally had enough money, I built my own car, and I won my debut race, and I became a national champion the first season, and then it just went from there. I realized that endurance racing was more my thing. I have maybe a special philosophy. How can I say to describe sprint racing and endurance racing? I always say sprint racing is, maybe it's not politically correct what I say, but it's like going to a prostitute. You do things you are not supposed to do. You do it hard. You do it horribly, and you just leave. Meaning you push everyone off if you can. Whereas endurance racing, it's like making love with your wife. You need to do it for a long time. You need to do it again. You need to love it. You need to do it. And I basically just fell for this endurance thing because there are so many aspects to it. It's not only you. It's the whole team. It's the whole preparation and well prepared is job half done. So I got into endurance racing and did a handful, 10, 24 hours. Races in Europe and Middle East, but then I had basically my balance system collapsed, and it meant that I was not able really to go on slick tires anymore. And then I went into managing race teams. So that's where my petrol injected blood comes from, I guess.
Petrol injected, yeah. Well, and that's the most unique way I've ever heard anybody described sprint racing and endurance racing. But we'll leave it at that. So let's talk about what you're doing there at Kalmar Automotive, because those listeners who remember Tom, who was on the show, I mean, the guy's known as Mr. Le Mans, definitely talk about endurance racers. But you got involved with Tom, and you guys are building, and the way I described it is plant fiber bodywork, maybe EV versions. Tell our listeners, what are you guys building there? And I'm a Porsche guy. We share this affliction, you and I and Tom. What are you guys up to there at Kalmar Automotive?
Well, it's a little bit like the never-ending discussion, what came first, the chicken or the egg? I think now 4.5 years ago, Tom and another common friend of ours called me from Pebble Beach, and they were standing at a stand that are producing very high quality backdated 911s. And he said, I want one, because he wanted a car from each of the manufacturers with whom he won the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And his first victory was actually in a used Porsche. And he knew I was involved in various Porsche projects, and said, "Can you do me one?" And I can. And since he's from 1967, I suggested to make a 1967 car and really make it super nice for him. And he was like, "Yeah, but I like this new backdate thing." And I was like, "Okay, then let's take a 930, because his race car also was a turbo, so that would kind of extend that story." And he kept saying, "Yeah, but I really like these little bit more modern cars." So I was like, "Okay, we can do it." And our common friend, who has done Le Mans 5 times, I think, he said, "I'll take one too." So suddenly we had 2 guys who wanted this car, and the original plan was to make a steel car, and then it turned out that it was actually easier to make a full carbon fiber body. And then we made the agreement that we are not going to tell anyone what we are doing, and I estimated it would take about 18 to 24 months. It took 3 years, and when we were done with the car, we kind of agreed maybe others like this car too.
Yeah. And
decided to start selling them. And that went much better than we ever would have dreamt of. And when you say the plant fiber car, then it's actually something that has come later on, because it's kind of you need to find your position in the market, and I think regardless we are not able to neglect the environment, and I like to say what I think, and I think that the modern automotive industry is approaching a scam, to be honest, the way that, we just need all to drive electric vehicles and then we save the world. I don't really believe in that. We have a Danish environmentalist who said the greenest car you can ever buy is the one you don't buy.
Yeah, okay.
And he said it's better to, like, unless you drive hundreds of thousands of miles per year, it's better to keep your 30-year-old Volvo than to buy a new Toyota Prius or something. And it kept like ringing in my head, and suddenly I said, well, actually what we are doing is extremely environmental friendly, because we build a new car, but we put new life into an existing car. And already there we are so, like, if you take the CO2 calculation, we are 20 years of driving ahead when we start.
Right.
But I kind of like to go all the way. And I have a good friend who happens to be the owner of the company who has done Tom's LMP1 cars, the monocoque design, an Italian engineering company. And I went to him and said, can't we do something even more? And he said, well, we can replace the carbon fiber with plant fiber. So that has been eating CO2 when it was growing. So you actually get
you start with a negative. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, now we have two advantages, and I then looked into the electric or the electrification, and whether you like it or not, it's extremely effective. Like the amount of energy that goes into moving the car forward is just superior on an electric car compared to a combustion engine. And I was like, do we talk about performance 0 to 100? No, because these cars, they are, let's face it, they are expensive. And you can go out and buy a new Porsche or a new whatever that will be faster from 0 to 100 any day of the week. But it doesn't have the personality, it doesn't have this uniqueness, and we looked for a name, and I decided to call it Evergreen. We're just about to launch that concept now, so I think it's actually would be the first place where this here is mentioned. So we're going to do a line which we call Evergreen, because it's kind of something that lasts for a long time, and it has a green aspect to it. So that's a journey we have started, and want to, let's say, not be famous for it, but at least be known for buying the greenest car you will ever have bought. Because I I dare to challenge whatever new car. If you take the full calculation, we are superior. Which is maybe some big shoes to fill, but why not just go for it?
You know, I find this really fascinating because when you think about it, at first thought, you're building basically a hot rod. If you think about the U.S. hot rod industry back in the 50s, taking old cars, putting new life into them. Of course, they had big belching gas guzzling engines in them, but you're kind of a hot rod builder, which if you went to the average person and said, well, this guy's working on becoming what we would call a green company, what you've described, and they'd go, you're crazy. He's building hot rod, rebuilt Porsches. You're nuts, but you're not. And I like the whole concept behind what you're doing. I had a guest on the show quite a long time ago. He was guest number 821. His name is Bruce Denson. And he's the CEO, designer, and founder of a company called Renew Sports Cars in Key West, Florida. I'd have to go back and see if they're even still around, but he was building the bodies for his cars out of cannabis, hemp. Mm-hmm.
But that's plant fiber.
Plant fiber, yeah.
So if you have a really bad day, you can smoke the door and then all is gone.
I was waiting for that to come to light. Well, you know, I find what you're doing absolutely fascinating. And since I love Porsches, and I've done probably in the last 5 years a bit of an about face about Porsches. I was always a purist when it came to my old Porsches, but I love now the concept of a re-given to life Porsche, what we would call a retro or a reimagine in the case of singer Rob Dickinson or some of the others who are building RSR projects, and there's others. I think it's pretty cool, and I like your entire concept about what you're doing. Tell our listeners a little bit about some of the cars, like how many cars have you built so far, and what kinds of things are you doing to these cars to put new life into them to make them more fun outside of the possibility of an EV?
Well, that was why I said just a while ago, it's difficult to say what came first, the chicken or the egg.
Right.
Because parallel to it started already in 2010. Because I wanted to do these long distance driving, and I looked which is the best car for it, and I decided a Porsche Cayenne was the best car for it, and that was actually where I bought a new Cayenne and I modified it fully with one purpose: to be able to drive and drive and drive and drive. And everybody said, no, you cannot go through Africa in a Porsche if it breaks down. And it's like, yeah, but you need to prepare so it doesn't break down. So I actually started this journey already in 2010. And then for the event company we had, it's impossible to compete with the manufacturers. I've done a lot of development for various manufacturers for their driving programs, but I have realized that my person does not really fit too well with the big corporates. So I wanted to do it on my own, and to control depreciation, I decided to take air-cooled 911s and prepare them for things that they were not really planned for, but they actually work very well in those environments. And that all actually was before Tom came to me. And when Tom came, together with Lars was the customer for the second car, we were all talking about how much horsepower can we get out, and no sound insulation, and solid top mounts, and hard bushes, and performance, and blah 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 blah. And when we finished the cars, they were not really nice to drive. They were bloody fast, but they were not nice to drive. And when we started selling them, nobody cared about 0 to 100 time, or 0 to 60, I guess you call it. But they talked about sound system, rain sensor, comfort indicator, comfort, blah, all these things. Right. So we basically aimed our guns in one direction, which was all good and fine until we drove the car, and it was way too track orientated, and we changed the car on 272 points after we were done, and all of them was less performance, more comfort. Because at the end of the day, what I feel this whole backdate movement comes from is the generations that had a poster of a 930 on the wall or a F model or whatever, they now have the money to buy a nice car. They still have the dream of the poster on their wall, but they don't want all the hassle. They don't want a carburetor. They don't want this. They don't want that when they press the brake, you don't know if it will stop. If you press the gas, nothing happens. So actually, they want a modern car in a classic wrap.
Yep.
And this is what we do, like day in and day out. It is to like just a small thing like we run lithium batteries. You can, with our backdated cars, you can go in and see what is the current charge of your battery. And if somebody would, God forbid, steal your car, you can from your telephone switch off the car.
Nice, yeah.
And it's like we all, I say we, but the customers, they all have this romantic view on how the cars used to be, but they don't really want them.
Yeah, this is so common. I always say it's akin to an old girlfriend. The memories far exceed the idea of actually going back. And, because, and it's what's happening now. And it's kind of like the hot rod scene in the 50s and 60s, but very, very different, because you talk to people who say they want an old Corvette. They've always dreamed of an old Corvette. And then they go drive one and they go, this sucks. My Camry is so comfortable. My Lexus, my Mercedes, whatever. This is a very interesting twist that's occurring right now. And of course, you've got the dynamics of baby boomers coming of age and having money. You've got young tech guys that have money and they can have whatever they want. Let's take a short break. We come back. I want to talk about maybe a challenge in all this endeavor. So keep the seatbelts tight and we'll be right back. AutoGeek's Blackfire SiO2 Spray Sealant. It's a spray-on, wipe-off sealant that's quick, safe, and easy to clean and protect your vehicles. I love using it on all my cars. AutoGeek's Blackfire SiO2 Spray Sealant is a spray-on, wipe-away sealant that uses SiO2 ingredients to provide a slick, brilliant, and long-lasting shine. Silicon dioxide is known to be one of the most effective ingredients in car care products, and Blackfire Spray Sealant takes advantage of every stunning feature it has to offer. This sealant will protect your paint from road film, dirt, and other common contaminants while providing an impeccable, long-lasting, hydrophobic surface that forces water to sheet and bead on your paint for months. Go to autogeek.net to get yours and for the best product selections on the internet today, along with their skilled technical support. Autogeek.net is where I go for all my detailing needs. That's autogeek.net. Check them out today. I've discovered Linkage. It's a new quarterly publication and website that covers the automotive market, driving, restoring, collecting, and discovering your passion for motor vehicles. Linkage is about experiences, opinions, and values. Linkage is an actual informed, reasoned opinion based on first-hand experiences. A talented Linkage team covers the automotive world, the people who share your passion and mine, smart, considered, rational, and experienced opinions, ones you can learn from and grow. That includes our passion that drives auctions and the collector car market. So come with me and join us on this journey. And be sure to use the code CARSYEAH when you subscribe, and they'll give you $10 off. Boom! Linkage, geared for the automotive life. Subscribe today at linkagemag.com. So let's talk about this challenge factor. No doubt your entire life has been, because you were involved in racing, challenge equals racing. It happens all the time. But is there maybe one big challenge that you faced? It could even be with the current projects you're working on that taught you a really valuable lesson that you could turn into something positive going forward? I think with the Kalmar Automotive project, it was somehow to satisfy a 9-time Le Mans winner. Tom?
That was like he knows what he wants. Yeah, I would say he definitely knows what he does not want.
Gotcha.
He comes from a world where every little detail is prepared to the extreme. And it has been it is a benchmark. Like when he was finally happy, I was very confident that many other people would be happy as well. So here's a good test. So that was hard work. Like thousands and thousands of messages has gone between us. So we have developed the car via WhatsApp. Because I'm traveling, he's traveling, and there have been millions of gigabytes of data going between with small videos and pictures, and do you like this or do you like that? We've tried to basically take a lot of parts from the Porsche bin and stick together. Like for me, the 911 ST is the most beautiful 911 that the world has ever seen. Because it's round, and for me a 911 is round, and I've tried to make so many round details in that car, but then the front lip of a 930 has always been something special for me, so that has inspired the front. So we've kind of taken from various places. In the Porsche bin, and actually the whole design started from the rear spoiler. The rear spoiler is as on 993 and 964 retracting, I think it's called. Mm-hmm. It's coming out.
Yep.
And I always liked the F model fixed grille. So we ended up machining a grille that looks like an F model grille, but it comes out. I dare to say that the 964 rear spoiler was never a rear spoiler. It is a device to limit the noise due to new noise regulations in 1988, where they started measuring only when the car was at standstill. And that's why it goes in. It's actually the oil temperature overrules the spoiler. So it's clear it's for cooling. It's not for downforce. And when some say that they need a spoiler on a 911, old 911, I think they have quite a lot of weight on the rear axle already.
Yes.
So to be honest, that thing there does not create that much downforce. And that's why on our car you will see it goes in and lies flush like an F model. And then at 100 kilometers an hour, it pops out, but it's only to get more access to more air for the engine cooling. So it's like we've taken from everywhere. And then last but not least, we don't have rain gutters like the 959. For me, the 959 is the holy grail in the Porsche family. That was the time where the company was run by engineers and not by controllers. And that's why they built a car where the production price was twice as high as the sales price, which was why they were about to go bust. But nevertheless, that car is a monster. And so that is kind of our tribute to the 959, that we have removed the rain gutters, and it really changed the appearance of the car.
It softened everything. And, I know Bruce Canepa, and he's building the 959, his version of that car, kind of doing a similar thing. And you think about taking that car and making it better. And of course, at the time it was built, it was state of the art, but we know more now, right? And I agree with you. I bought a 964, a Carrera 2 years ago. It was a 91 model. And when I was sitting there at the dealer and he said, "Oh, look at this, you can push this button and the tail comes up and gives it more downforce." I'll never forget, there was a guy standing in there and he said, "That's not what that's for. That's to get more air to the engine." And the salesman goes, "No, it's not. It's so you can, and I remember them having the argument, and I'm standing there listening and I'm thinking about this salesman going, "I don't think you know what you're talking about, dude. I think that guy knows what he's talking about," because you have to stop and think about it. There's lots of weight on the back of this car. So, yeah. But
I did 304 kilometers an hour in one of the prototypes, and then I took off the engine for the spoiler, and I did the same speed, and I couldn't feel any difference.
Yeah.
So, I think... No, it is how it is.
How it is.
And when you mentioned Bruce, he is actually our dealer to the US, so he will get cars over now, and will represent us. So we're super proud to be in with him.
Well, I think so. That guy's got the best toy store I've ever seen on the planet. I mean, you go there and you don't want to leave.
No.
It's so absolutely. And every car I've seen come out of his shop that friends of mine have bought, they're the best of the best. I mean, so he only aligns with people who are the best of the best, and you're a great example of that. Hey, let's talk about maybe one special car in your history, one car that you own that really stands out for you, and maybe tell me a story about that ride.
Well, I don't know. I've owned a lot of cars, But I have one specific car that brings a very special smile to my face. It's an ex-factory Lotus Elise, Sport Elise, like they made a one mark series in the UK, which was the pre-Lotus Exige cars, and they were center seated like the Mclaren F1. I think I came very close to driving heaven on one specific lap at Nürburgring, because the car is not fast. I've done a lot, like I think I've done 4 24-hour races there, or 5. But that specific lap, I will just never forget. That's where it all adds up. Like the only thing that was missing was the good music, but it was during a race, so you don't really listen to the good music there.
Right.
But so that is actually one of the most rewarding. No, I think, well, it's by far the most rewarding car I've owned when it comes to driving. But of course, it breaks down all the time and it's not really reliable, blah blah blah. But that's I must say, that's lightweight and showing that you actually don't need 600, 700, 800 horsepower. That 230, 40 horsepower can do what it can do. So that's I think that's one of my favorite cars.
Those cars are so fun. There's a local racetrack here, Pacific Raceway, and there's a driving school there that the owner owns. And they had a series of these Lotuses when they first started doing their driving school. And I got to do some laps in one of those cars. And oh my gosh, it was like putting on a nice, comfortable little suit and going out and enjoying that thing. Yeah, they're beautiful. Fun little cars. You look at the street versions of those things and you think, I don't know how you could live with that, because you really have to crawl into it to drive it, and it's hard to get out. I'm not a big guy, so I can fit in any race car, but if you're tall, it makes it hard. But that's a special car. So I'm going to be your car psychologist today, all right? I'm going to crawl into your head a little bit here, see what's ticking up there. If you were manifest as a vehicle, this isn't what you want to be. This is the man you see in the mirror. All the little idiosyncrasies about you, Jan, what would you be, but more importantly, why?
Oh, it's going to be either side of the spectrum.
Okay.
My dream car and the best car ever produced, and most likely that will have ever been produced, is the Mclaren F1. I've driven it and it's unbelievable. Unfortunately, it's $20 million now, but but it's I drove it when it was only $5 or $6 million.
Only
that car is a masterpiece. But that's too easy to choose. Like, no, I think let's drop to a more realistic. We can pass by a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 6 Tommy Mäkinen edition. That is, I think, one of the best value for money cars that I've ever driven. But I would go to a Lotus Super 7. A well prepared Lotus Super 7 Caterham, I would say, but let's just call it Lotus Super 7 with a good engine, because it just gives you. It can be pissing down, but you're still smiling in it. It doesn't matter. Like you have everything in that car except comfort. Yeah.
Yeah, go-kart, go far for the road. It's, pretty special. But McLaren, oh yeah. I got to go to the McLaren factory when they first were building those, because I was importing Facom tools, and Facom was supplying tools to them at the time in their F1 team. And there was a little compartment, I remember, on the side that had a custom Facom toolkit that fit into that car. And I just remember standing there going, I think I'm in front of something very historic here. I mean, this was way back when. I think when they first came out, weren't they around $1 million or something, or maybe a little less? I don't remember.
Less. And everybody said McLaren must be crazy. It's impossible to sell these cars. And it was like they couldn't sell them.
Yeah, little different story. Well, they're what I call the new era GTO, Ferrari GTO, as far as collectability, and all that. But prices are getting up there.
I saw Gordon Murray was asked what he would change on the car. That was before he did his new project. But he was like, only one thing comes to my mind, and that is that the bracket for the light switch for the engine compartment is 2-piece, and we could have done that 1-piece. That was the only thing he wanted to change.
That sounds like something Gordon Murray would say. Yeah, he just launched a new car that actually Bruce Canepa is going to be carrying as well. So, pretty darn cool. Is there a way that you like to help others in the automotive sector, or maybe bring up young people into the sector to help them get a start in their careers?
Well, I started when I was, 15, 14, helping out in a rally team. And what I miss, and that's maybe just my passion that has not really gone away yet. We worked there 2 nights a week plus Saturdays, and we were paid a burger per session, and that was it. Like we got dinner or lunch. That doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. And to be honest, passion and money, they don't, in my world, work so well together. Like it's really hard to find guys doing it because they want, and not just because they are paid for it. So whenever I get across someone like that, he or she will be promoted fast in my world.
Yeah, exactly. So this may sound like a crazy question for a guy like you who's been on many what I call ultimate drives, and you are the ultimate driver because of your endurance history. But if I open my checkbook, the unlimited funds here at Cars Yeah, and I could buy you any car in the world, and you could take it anywhere in the world, and you could drive it for as long as you'd like anywhere in the world, and you could be with anybody in the world or someone who's passed. What does the ultimate drive look like for a guy like you that's been on so many ultimate drives?
Okay, that's evil.
Sorry, but not.
At some stage I will drive to the South Pole. That's kind of one of them I need to do. And the only vehicle down there is my favorite hate brand, which is a Toyota, because that's the only ones that will last going down there. But that's not really a dream drive. That's more a dream.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I could connect you with Renee Brinkerhoff, who she took a little Porsche down there and did a little drive. Not really an endurance drive, but yeah.
No, and she didn't go to the South Pole.
Yeah.
That's she did a nice loop, and I really like. It's unbelievable what she's been doing. Like absolutely hats off. It's not. I'm in no way or form saying she didn't do amazing, but I want to go to the
real South Pole.
South Pole. Yeah.
So let's take this journey. So if you're going to the South Pole, and you can, in my budget for you to build anything, would you build a air-cooled Porsche that would work down there? Do you think?
I think it's too high. Like I think because it's like, I don't know, is it 12,000 feet or something?
It's way up there. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna run out of oxygen, like for cooling. But it's bloody cold down there, so it might work. No, you won't. Like it's impossible. Like because you don't have the necessary ground clearance. No matter what you do, like then you need to put the big I don't know what you call them 46 inch tires on the outside. It would just look stupid. No, I like Icelandic trucks, they do the cars for down there, and it's Toyotas. It's 3-axle Toyotas. So no, I don't know. I think either taking one of our cars. We're working on a new project, which I cannot mention here, but that car I think is going to be worth a dream drive. I've just done a 6,000 kilometer Europe tour in one of the 2 prototypes, and that was also really up there. But I might go back to the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 6, a small mountain road, whether it's sealed off or not, I don't know. That remains to be seen. Yeah. And of course, like you can take the obvious answer and say, "Oh, I want to bring my family," but they always sleep when I'm driving. So that's not. I woke up my daughter. We were doing 280 kilometers now on a German highway, and I woke her up to tell her, "Oh, you're driving faster than you've ever done before." And she kind of looked and said, "Oh, okay," and slept on.
Went back to sleep.
Yeah. So that's not really. No, I have my dear old friend Peter. Him and we have done so many road trips, and we never run out of subjects to talk about. So I think we will actually just blast up a mountainside. Unfortunately, I get car sick if I don't drive, so I have to have the steering wheel in my hands. But no, that's a good drive for me.
I think it would be. You've taken us on a wonderful drive today, Jan. This has been so much fun. I could talk to you for hours. I can't wait to see some of the new projects that are coming along. Before I let you go, would you share maybe some words of inspiration, a success quote, or some kind of maybe saying that might give some meaning and inspiration to a listener today?
Yeah, I love. I actually love mottos. Is it called motto?
A motto, a mantra. Yeah.
Yeah. For instance, the good old if you only follow in other people's footsteps, you will never be able to overtake. I think this is one which I like. When I learned to walk, I wanted to run, and when I learned to jump, I wanted to fly. I think this is very much my personality. And then I think not be afraid of mistakes, because you learn from mistakes, and it becomes stupid if you reproduce them. But if you don't dare to take risk, you will never separate from the mass. And I am very passionate and just follow your dreams. If you do the best you can, nobody can complain.
I think so. Great mottos you have there. How can people learn more about Kalmar Automotive?
We have a homepage, kalmarautomotive.com. And then we have our adventure trips, which is just basically my name, jankalmer.com. And if somebody wants to go and race against Tom, we have Spirit of Speed .live, where Tom is sometimes joining, and he's always keen to take up a race still. Yeah. So you can find more information there.
There you go. Well, say hello to Tom for me. It was great having him on the show. And for you listeners that missed that talk, you got to go back and find it. It's on the Cars Yeah website. Hey, Jan, thanks for taking some time out of a very busy, exciting life. This has been a delight to get to know more about you, your brand. I can't wait to see one of your cars in person. Maybe someday I'll be lucky enough to drive one of those cars. That would be really, really cool. Until you and I talk again, my friend, I'll see you down the road.
Thank you very much. And thank you for having me.
You're welcome. If your car started today, well, thank a tech. If that truck delivering your goods today got to your home or your business, thank a tech. If that airplane you rode in took off and landed safely, and if that boat you're riding in arrived at the dock safe and sound, that's right, thank a tech. One thing the pandemic has taught us is that great techs keep America rolling. They are essential workers and we need them. Support career and technical education by getting involved with TechForce Foundation. It's a Cars Yeah charity of choice. Learn more at techforce.org today.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.